Ever wondered if being too kind might actually harm you? It's a strange question, isn't it? We often associate kindness with warmth, compassion, and good deeds. But like most things in life, excess can lead to imbalance, and that's what we're exploring today. The concept of excessive kindness, the idea that being overly kind can, in fact, be detrimental. We're not suggesting that kindness is a flaw, far from it, but it's crucial to understand that an overflow of anything, even kindness, can lead to unforeseen circumstances. Expectations may rise, people may take advantage, and worst of all, you may start neglecting your own needs. This might sound a bit dramatic, and you might think, how could being nice be a bad thing? Well, that's exactly what we're going to delve into. We'll explore the different ways that excessive kindness can negatively impact your life, and hopefully provide some insight into how to strike a balance. So let's delve into the first way excessive kindness can be detrimental to our lives. Imagine always being there for others and expecting the same in return. What happens when these expectations aren't met? This is a common predicament faced by those who practice excessive kindness. You constantly step up, lend a helping hand, expecting that the same will be done for you. But life doesn't always work that way. High expectations can lead to great disappointments, especially when they are not reciprocated. You start to question your worth, your relationships, even your own kindness. The frustration builds up, turning your once joyous act of kindness into a source of bitterness. This is when kindness starts to feel like a burden rather than a blessing. You're left feeling drained, used, and undervalued. It's a harsh reality, but it's a common pitfall of being excessively kind. So, the first pitfall of excessive kindness is the disappointment that comes with unmet expectations. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it's an important lesson to learn. Ever felt like someone's personal therapist or problem solver, all because of your kindness? It's a common experience for those with big hearts. But here's the thing. While your intention to help is admirable, it can sometimes lead to a trap, the dependency trap. When you're always there to lend a hand, to soothe a worry, or to solve a problem, people can start to rely on you too much. It's like you've become their personal safety net. This creates a comfort zone for them, a place where they don't have to face their own struggles, because they know you'll always be there to pick up the pieces. Over time, this constant support can lead to dependency. They might start to expect your help, even in situations they could handle on their own. This isn't good for them, and it's certainly not good for you. Hence, the second danger of excessive kindness is creating dependency. What happens when we constantly put others' needs above our own? Well, it's a slippery slope, my friends. This road often leads to self-neglect, a state where we consistently ignore our own needs and desires. It's like being a gardener who waters the entire garden, but forgets about the tree that provides the shade. Self-neglect can have serious consequences. For starters, it can lead to a decline in physical and mental health. Imagine running a marathon with no water, no rest. That's what we're doing to our bodies and minds when we neglect our own needs. Moreover, it can result in us running away from our inner struggles. We become so focused on others that we forget to deal with our own issues. It's like sweeping dirt under the rug. It might look clean, but the mess is still there, growing bigger every day. In addition to this, self-neglect can ultimately worsen our mood. We may begin to feel resentment, frustration, and even anger. And guess what? People will notice. They might start to see us as weak, as pushovers. But remember, we're not. We're just overly kind, and we need to set boundaries and practice self-discipline. So the third downside of excessive kindness is self-neglect. Ever noticed how kindness can sometimes draw the wrong crowd? As strange as it may sound, being too kind can sometimes act like a magnet for opportunists. These are the folks who see your generosity, your willingness to help, and instead of appreciating it, they see a chance to benefit from it. Imagine you're a lighthouse in a storm, guiding ships to safety. But amongst those ships there are pirates, drawn to the light, seeing it not as a beacon of safety, but as a target. That's what happens when your kindness becomes excessive. It attracts people who take without giving back, leaving you feeling drained and used. This doesn't mean you should stop being kind. No, Kindness is a virtue, but it's crucial to be wise, to discern, to set boundaries. Don't let your kindness become a free ticket for others to take advantage of you. So the fourth pitfall of excessive kindness is attracting opportunists. What's the cost of giving too much of ourselves to others? That's the question we need to ponder on as we delve into the concept of overgiving. Overgiving at its core is a paradox. It's like pouring water from a cup that's already empty. We often extend ourselves beyond our means, trying to satisfy others, without realizing that we're depleting our own resources. It's like trying to fill someone else's glass while ours remains empty. Overgiving is a one-way street that leads to the city of exhaustion. It's a relentless cycle where we give, and give until we have nothing left for ourselves. And what do we get in return? Often, nothing more than a drained spirit and a tired soul. This constant outflow of energy without any inflow can leave us feeling depleted, both physically and emotionally. We might find ourselves constantly tired, stressed, or even ill. Our mental health could take a hit, leading to feelings of anxiety, depression, or burnout. Overgiving also has a magnetic quality to it, attracting the very kind of people we should be wary of. People who take without giving back. These individuals can sense our willingness to give, and they latch onto it like parasites, draining us further. They're takers, not givers. They're drawn to our kindness, not because they appreciate it, but because they see it as a resource to exploit. They'll take everything we have to offer, and then some more, without a second thought about our well-being. So, we end up with an energy deficit, a gaping hole that can't be filled, because we're constantly giving away what little we have left. We become like a battery that's always running on low, never getting the chance to recharge. It's a vicious cycle, one that can only be broken by setting boundaries and practicing self-discipline. We need to learn how to say no, how to conserve our energy, and how to prioritize our own needs over the needs of others. Only then can we avoid the pitfall of overgiving and maintain a healthy balance in our lives. Can excessive kindness make people suspicious rather than impressed? It's a question that might seem odd at first, but let's delve into it. Imagine yourself being excessively kind, always there for others, and never saying no. Over time, people might start questioning your motives. They might wonder, is this kindness genuine, or is there a hidden agenda? This suspicion can create a barrier, an invisible wall that prevents authentic connections, and worse, it can open the door for exploitation. Some might see your kindness as a weakness to be exploited for their own gain. They might ask for more, and more, draining you, exploiting your good nature. Remember, a balanced approach to kindness is key. Being kind doesn't mean you should let yourself be exploited. Maintain your boundaries and don't let your kindness become a door for suspicion and exploitation. So the sixth downside of excessive kindness is suspicion and exploitation. How can we avoid these pitfalls and still be kind? Now, this is where the art of self-discipline steps into the limelight. It's about striking a balance, like a tightrope walker, between compassion and self-preservation. Self-discipline, you see, is not about turning a blind eye to the needs of others. No, it's about knowing your limits and understanding when to draw the line. It's about learning to say no when you feel overwhelmed or when requests become unreasonable. It's about not allowing your kindness to be your downfall. But it's also about making time for yourself. Prioritizing activities that motivate and rejuvenate you should never be seen as selfish, but rather as an essential strategy in maintaining your well-being. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. So, the seventh way to avoid harm from excessive kindness is by practicing self-discipline. It's not just about being kind to others, but also about being kind to yourself. Who are the energy vampires in your life, and how can you protect yourself from them? You might wonder? Well, energy vampires are those individuals who drain your energy, leaving you feeling exhausted and depleted. They are often needy, demanding, and take without giving back. Now, this doesn't mean you should completely avoid helping others, but it's crucial to discern when you're dealing with an energy vampire. Are you frequently left feeling drained after interactions with certain people? Do they take more than they give? If so, you may be dealing with an energy vampire. To protect your energy, it's vital to establish boundaries. It's okay to say no sometimes. Prioritize your needs and make sure you're not neglecting yourself in the process of being excessively kind to others. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. So the eighth and final way to protect yourself from the harm of excessive kindness is by identifying energy vampires and prioritizing your own needs. So, what have we learned about excessive kindness? We've navigated the treacherous waters of excessive kindness, from the disappointment of unmet expectations to the trap of dependency. We've uncovered the consequences of self-neglect and the unwelcome attraction of opportunists. We've delved into the energy drain of overgiving and the suspicion and exploitation that can follow. Through this journey, we've discovered the importance of self-discipline and the power of saying no. We've learned to prioritize our energy, to make time for self-care, and to engage in activities that motivate and rejuvenate us. We've uncovered the significance of discerning good relationships from draining ones, taking lessons from the Stoics in identifying the energy vampires in our lives. Above all, we've reinforced the necessity of a balanced approach to kindness. It's a virtue indeed, but like all good things, it should be practiced in moderation. Remember, kindness is a virtue, but like all good things, it should be practiced in moderation.